Mixam is raising the bar when it comes to printing publications. With both their process and their product, Mixam has created a new, higher standard for stories preserved in print. In a conversation with Mixam's head of U.S. operations, Sara Wimmer, we discuss printing with purpose and serving today's storytellers.
Famous lyrics will tell us that video killed the radio star. Right? So
Yes.
Some have said something similar regarding digital publications replacing print publications. As a publisher of both, I feel there is room and a desire, a need for both. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Sara.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree that there is definitely a desire for both. But I think the difference is the shifting from print being something that was necessary. It was the only form of communication in our history for so long, to something that's more desired. And so I think that digital publications definitely have their place, especially for accessibility and, the way that we share information across many platforms and places. But nothing beats really receiving a physical copy of a book where thought has gone into everything from the design that's being printed to the paper that's selected. It's all very calculated, that process, and people can really see the amount of effort that is put into creating that kind of a product.
Agreed, for sure. Because you do just have to, it's crossing the T's and dotting the I's because they can't be magically updated in something that's printed. I've learned quickly, actually. So there's that. So while Mixam produces his beautiful print publications, it is your brilliant digital platform that gets the job done. I thought that was a bit interesting. So that job that's done is done so well with this state-of-the-art technology. I would love for you to share what makes your platform, what makes Mixam different from the rest.
Yeah, Mixam's goal is really to make printing accessible, right? Because, back in the day, you would probably have to go to a printer, a local printer, and get it done. But, not everyone has the ability to do that. There isn't a printer in every town, unfortunately. So the goal is to make it easy, and we also want to stand out from the other printers that are online because there's a lot of these days. So we want to cater to everyone who has printed, in the print industry for decades, to someone who has never printed anything and this is their first time going about doing that. The instant quote calculator is by far my favorite feature, and we hear that from customers all the time. The ability to pull in different specifications and get quotes instantly is just not something you see typically on other platforms. Usually you have to sit through, a bunch of different processes and click everything one at a time, which really makes it, inconvenient if you want to see what the price is going to be for a different copy account, for example. And when I was in design school, I really wish I had Mixam. That would have made my life so much easier. But beyond that, uploading files and, processing orders quickly and easy, it just makes the whole process a lot easier than, a lot of other places. But there is also a very human element that is behind all of that technology. We have a wonderful staff that customers can contact at any time of the process for assistance. And we have print experts that check every single file. It's always a person that's behind that screen as opposed to, a robot just processing orders. So that combination of technology and the human element is really where we can strive to create the best experience for our customers. We just want to make printing smarter, not harder.
Well, you do a beautiful job of that. Anytime
Good
I've
to
ever
hear.
called, I've worked with the technology in the front end and then also called, so I've got an issue. And then all of a sudden it's not an issue anymore. So it's awesome. When storytelling, for those who decide to only go digital because they can't find an eco-friendly printing option. Again, please share the story of Mixam here, particularly your chapters on the paper that you source and the ink that you use.
Yeah, absolutely. The environment and our impact on it is always at the forefront of our minds. We're obviously printers, we have to utilize paper, which comes from trees, and we really want to make sure we leave as little impact on the environment as possible. So, not only because as a company we really care about that, but because it is simply just necessary to ensure that we continue to have the opportunity to print products for our customers. Our planet is just so very important, and we're all on this planet together, so we have to do what we can to lessen the impact. And yeah, so our website does support recycled papers. Currently it's only available in the UK, but we do hope to change that moving forward. And beyond that, all the rest of our papers that we use are FSC certified, so the Forest Stewardship Council ensures that all of our papers are manufactured from sustainable sources. And we print using vegetable-based inks, which is great for if you want to recycle things, after a time. It won't, chemicals and things back into the environment. We do not want that to happen. So beyond that, we also recycle any and all of our waste that we can from print production. We're always looking to improve, become more environmentally friendly where we can as we grow as a company. So I really hope to have more recycled paper options on our website and also find new ways of, creating our different bindings and things with, glues that are a little bit better for the environment and things like that. We can always do a little bit better.
I love that. I love that. And so going back to what you had touched on a moment ago, beyond the products and processes, it's people who make or break any organization. From personal experience, as mentioned, I can say your people, Sara, they have made they have made Mixam a company that we are honored to call our partner. Every conversation I've had with anyone at Mixam has always resulted in finding a win and sharing a laugh. From a person on the inside, I'd love to hear about the culture that you've cultivated at Mixam.
Yeah, definitely. Mixam, as a company, we began in the United Kingdom. So we really try to keep that kind of work culture rooted in our origins across countries. For a while, at the start of the pandemic here in the US, I was actually the only US-based employee for Mixam. I worked by myself at home for about 6 months before we started growing our team on this side of the pond. But even though the rest of my team was on the other side of the world, I never felt disconnected or on my own or anything like that. So when I started growing a team here, I really wanted to instill that feeling in the US branch. We really tried to cultivate a motivated, friendly, open environment. Nearly all of our managers, including myself, started in the customer service position. So we know what it takes, from the very start of the company all the way to wherever we go, we understand where the beginning is. And as head of US operations, I'm very open to feedback from our team to ensure everything is going smoothly. After all, you can never stop learning and improving.
Right.
And Mixam is just very collaborative. So we are constantly learning from one another, and that open communication is just so important. And I have worked at previous companies where, that kind of hierarchy really got in the way of progress and having a really, truly healthy work environment. So I really strive to keep doors open and ensure that every single one of Mixam's employees can approach me for anything that they need. We also just love to laugh. We share art and music and stories together. And everyone here at Mixam is genuinely happy to be here. And from personal experience in other places, this is the first time I've ever had that at a company. So I really hope that as we continue to grow, we can keep that feeling going and get better and better.
Yeah, that's and I can validate that you do laugh. I mean, you laugh with me, as a customer, as a partner. So it's I always enjoy phone calls.
Yes.
So, at the end of the day, it's you who is helping us change the world, one issue at a time, with one printed edition at a time of AwareNow magazine. that we can put in people's hands. How does it make you feel to know that your work helps others' work to change the world through the preservation and presentation of such special stories?
It's very humbling to be in the position to do so, to be, one small part of that process. Storytelling in any form is really just so important to our culture and the progress of culture. And it holds a special place in my heart because so many stories have impacted my life. And I think we can probably say that to a degree for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'd always hoped that whatever I ended up doing for a living, that I would have some sort of positive impact on the world, even if it was just for a small handful of individuals. So it makes me so happy to see editions like AwareNow passing through our website, where we can kind of help your dream become a physical reality. Our platform supports all kinds of content, from magazines to cookbooks for families, and you see everything from large runs of thousands of copies to a few copies of a self-published book. And each order, no matter how big or small it is important to us. Because, when memory fails, stories like these live on forever. And we're just so grateful to be part of that process and preserving them for years to come.
Oh, and I love how you said that so beautifully just now. When memories fail, that these stories continue to live on. Um, Thank you so much for taking the time today, Sara, to help us get to know Mixam a little bit more and a little bit more about you. Thank you so much for the work that you do, helping us do the work that we do. Thank you for helping all of us become a bit more aware now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.